And my name is Jamel Bookaboo. Welcome to the Team G'day call. Today's guest is Senior Vice Chair Marketing Director Ted Anderson, who is our upline in Team G'day. He has taught me so much, and he is here to help our team. So Ted is very good at what he does. He knows a lot about the products, and not a lot about Dr. Wallach. And I'm not going to hold him up too long, but I thought I'd grab him for this team call and share him with you guys. So if you can put yourself on mute if you are listening, and hopefully we might get one or two questions at the end. So Ted, are you there?
I'm right here with you, Jamel. Nice to hear your voice, of course.
Lovely to talk to you as well. So we're just going to do a few minutes introducing the audience, and then we like to hear a bit about your story and any tips that you have, and if you do have time after that, one or two questions. So Ted, lovely to talk to you. You are our upline in Team G'day, and if it wasn't for you, I don't think I would have done this as a business, because I joined all the way over in Australia after listening to Alex Jones and Dr. Wallach, and I called the number and I said, yeah, I want to do this as a business. I think Melina and I were two of the craziest people to try and do it. She was in Hawaii, I was in Australia, and you were one of the persons I connected with as a leader. Ted, love to have you on. Why don't you share a bit with your story, Youngevity, and what you can teach us today?
Yeah, I'm happy to do so. First of all, I got to tell you, it was really, really cool when you first came into the business, Jamel, and you were sending emails from Australia, and I just thought, man, this guy is really putting his neck out there and making this work. And of course, we want to do everything we can to help everybody here, and that's what we're here for. My story kind of starts like this. I'm a business guy. I love building businesses. It's always been my thing. I took one of the precious metals companies from a concept back in the year 1997 called Midas Resources to like the fourth largest gold and silver company in the United States, and did that through the process of starting a second company called the Genesis Communications Network, so I could promote the products and build that business. And so now all of a sudden I'm straddled with two companies. Some of you have heard Alex Jones, and of course he is one of my guys that is on the Genesis Network who does just a really fantastic job of doing a radio show right now. He's just out of the charts, off the top, probably the largest internet show in the entire industry. And then he also does incredibly well terrestrially here in the United States and across the world. So that's just a little bit of a brief summary of where I'm at. I came across the Youngevity business sort of by accident because of, it's kind of funny how life works. Started off with precious metals, need to advertise my gold and silver products. So I start getting on radio stations, next thing you know, radio shows. And next thing you know, I'm developing a radio network. The radio network develops into a relationship with somebody who's producing a radio show called Dead Doctors Don't Lie, which is Dr. Wallach's radio show. They need satellite services, and I have no idea what this is about, but I'm like, okay, sure. The gentleman that wanted to do business with me for me to take the show also wanted to give me time on his radio station. His name is Michael Zwerling, another really great person to meet if you happen to come to convention. You'll be able to have a chance to meet him as well. And that's how that relationship started with me. I was not a lotions and potions guy, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. My daily routine consisted of going to work and making sure that everything's operating functionally and doing as much as I can to produce opportunities. And but one of the things I was not focused on at all was nutritional supplementation, or nutrition for that matter. Usually what I would do is I'd just get out of the office. I knew I could go to Burger King up the road and get a Coke burger and fries for about $5, and also get food in my belly and get back to work within about half an hour. And that's about a lot of time I'd give myself to do that. But, as life would have it, running into my 40s, my body was definitely falling apart. And I didn't have a clue as to how to change that. I had an idea that, having a burger, Coke, and fries at Burger King was not a good idea. But I didn't know, what else to do that would really fix it. I happened to run into Dr. Wallach. At this point in time, bad knees, high cholesterol, you name it, functions like, hemorrhoids and all sorts of stuff that's going on in my body. And I get hooked up with this Dr. Wallach, and it's kind of like a story like you hear from everybody. It's like, okay, what are your health issues? Michael Zwirling asked me, and I said, well, I got high cholesterol, I got this and that. And he says, here, try taking this stuff. And I ordered what's now called a Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. I can't remember what they called it back then. And maybe it was a Healthy Brain and Heart Pack back then as well. It was the BTT 1.0. And got started with that. And I didn't think anything of it because I wasn't a nutritional supplement guy. But lo and behold, limping on a knee, my left knee, for about 10 years, even though I've gone to Walgreens and places like that to buy, glucosamine because I heard that that's good for it, right? Still had a problem, and I just figured it's going to be knee replacement for me, and that's what the doctors were talking about. And I started taking Wallach stuff, and before you know it, it was about 2.5 months later, I'm walking without pain, and I'm just sort of amazed by that. But it didn't take too long before, my next physical came in September. I think I started the routine in January, and all the health issues that I had were gone. High cholesterol, that was down. My triglycerides went from 368 to 164. The knee pain is gone. Just pretty much everything you can think of. One of the things I appreciated is that my body became tighter, probably from the copper and that selenium that I was taking. It just, my pecs that were going south came back north again. And here I am, 48, 49 years old, and I'm starting to look like I did when I was getting out of college or getting out of high school.
Wow.
And so that I appreciate. So there's the health transformation. So I just got with it, and I started promoting it, and got more people interested, and so on and so forth. Kept enrolling people, and they had similar health results. And so it's not a hard business in that way to do, because you're doing the right thing.
Mm.
Matter of fact, I was so excited about it, Jamel, that I would have done this if it didn't have a commission tied to it,
Yeah.
I would have told my friends and relatives that they need this stuff, and I would have been hounding them to take it. Didn't matter whether or not they're going to pay me or not, but as it turns out, it's good that they do pay you, because the Youngevity business at that time was just starting to grow. And for those of you who know anything about the markets at all, the precious metals market was hot as a pistol, and I mean sizzling hot. 2008, the gold market was right around $600 an ounce US. It climbed to $1,900 an ounce. Silver went from $6 an ounce to $50. It was just a crazy, crazy market, and I knew that thing was going to bite me big time. It was very difficult to even show a profit at all while the market was rising, and when the market was going to crash on me, I knew that my business volume was going to go from about 80 million probably down to about 6 million, which is exactly what happened.
Wow.
And if you're in business and you have that kind of volatility, you're going to be hurting. And that's what happened. And eventually, my Youngevity business went from zero in the year 2009. Right now, it's running, I think, roughly about $60 million a year. And so I replaced...
Can you say that figure again?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, $60 million a year.
Wow.
Crazy. I mean, that's just over the top. And who would ever think? The only reason why that business is $60 million a year is because the people that are taking the product, they get on it, they start to feel better. And when they get off of it, they start to feel bad again, they get back on it. It's just, it's such a motivator to have good health. People are willing to trade money for good health easily, especially if you're diagnosed with a very serious problem. You'll do just about anything. I mean, you look at somebody who's diagnosed with a life-threatening disease like cancer, and they'll trade everything they got just to have their life back again. The focus of your life becomes how do I help myself get away from this problem? And But anyways, being said, for me, Jamel, I will never, ever, ever, ever consider getting off the Youngevity products because of the fact that I was looking at potentially a quadruple bypass like my brother had. Just he happened to have his heart attack when he was 46 years old. And the only reason why he's alive today is because he had that heart attack in the cafeteria of the University of Minnesota Hospital.
Wow.
So, and it's a cardiac care unit, and he was a sheet metal worker doing the heating and air conditioning.
Yeah.
And he dropped out dead. I mean, I'm serious, dead, flatline dead in the cafeteria in the University of Minnesota Hospital, and they had to get the defibrillators out and restart his heart, rush him into the OR, and do a quadruple bypass. So could you imagine what if he was working at the one of the downtown buildings instead of the University Hospital? He would have been dead and gone. Wow. And that's what I was looking at. And they had the doctors that wanted to subscribe statin drugs to me, and I didn't even know what I just heard so many bad things about statin drugs. I'm just like, I ain't taking this stuff. I'd rather die,
Yeah.
And it probably would have happened with my triglycerides where they were, and the inflammation in my body. My goodness, I look like a little balloon.
Well, I haven't known you that. I've only known you since you've been on the 90, Ted, and you look great. For people watching this, and this will be uploaded on YouTube, I've got the video playing in the background of your first video on Facebook, how you're showing everyone what you take and why you're taking them. And I saw that for the first time and thought it was genius. I'm like, because a lot of people say, well, why do you need to take all that or eat healthy? Which is what you and I both thought. Well, we all did think that before Dr. Wallach. You went to the Burger King or whatever, and I used to go and just put whatever I wanted in my body thinking that was food. What gave you the idea to do these videos? I've actually put a challenge out to Team G'day to do their own videos, and I'm going to send a perk to the best one and upload it on Facebook. What gave you the idea for this? And I can tell you, a lot of people that weren't interested in Youngevity have watched these videos and said, this actually makes a lot of sense. Where did you get the idea to do these?
Well, the idea, I'm sort of new to Facebook. I've always had employees doing our Genesis Facebook page, which we have an incredible high number of people doing it. I thought, I'm going to put together my own personal page. And I started working with it a little bit. And then Facebook came out with Facebook Live. And I just started looking at some of the numbers. I mean, crying out loud, I could put a puppy and a kitten on a video playing with each other. Yeah. And, there could 36 million views on that thing. I thought, this is nuts. Wow. I'm going to start talking about something that's relevant. And so I just tried it. I just took my cell phone. I have an iPhone. It's that simple. And I put it on to, in this case, I had a tripod that I put my camera on. And I just rubber banded to the camera and pointed it at the countertop. And I took out my routine, my morning routine of stuff that I do, because people are always asking me, what is it? First of all, to go from 230 pounds, I weigh 175, and I weigh the same weight I did when I graduated from high school. Yeah. And I'm 54 years old. So people want to know. So I just put up the little title up there, hey, what does Ted Anderson do to just stay fit and trim? And I put all the stuff out there. I knew it would be sort of attractive because it takes so much of it, Yeah. And everybody's probably thinking that I'm crazy. But anyways, I put that little video up there, and I found out how easy it was to be able to just hit the live button while I'm on Facebook. This thing's mounted on a tripod. And I just went through my routine, smiled at the camera, and said, here, I do this for this, that for that reason. And why? And over 700 people have looked at that video. Yeah. And then I thought, I'm going to just keep doing this. The last one I did was trying to do a demonstration as to why chromium is important and how it has the effect on blood sugar. And that one has a tremendous amount of views too. I tried another one on copper, but I flubbed that one, so I just ditched it.
I love how you get the goggles out and cut the copper pipe and say, well, it's going to, because that's what people say. Why do I need copper in my body? And you go, well, if you have it like that, it's going to go straight through you. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that's how, and I think it makes it a little bit more interesting because I'm putting on safety glasses and I'm putting on the ear protection, and I've got the grinder behind me so you can see the sparks flying.
Guys, you got to watch it. If you haven't already seen it on Facebook, go to my page where I've reposted it, or Ted's, and he gets out a grinder, he gets a copper pipe, because people say, why do I need copper, right? Dr. Wallach says it's one of the essential nutrients. And then he puts it in his hibiscus plant and says, you know what? In a few years, this plant's actually going to soak it up and turn it into a form that the human body can actually absorb. And that is so simple, but until I saw it explained that way, I thought I could share this information now with everybody. I didn't really have the articulation before that.
Yeah, and it's that simple. And the other thing too, I mean, if you think about what went on here in the United States, they wanted to make the Mississippi River navigable, so you could come up from the Gulf of Mexico with big barges and ships, and haul grain, coal, and all the different iron and so on and so forth that we ship out. And in the process of putting in the dams and the levees and all the locks and so on and so forth, they call it locks and dams. I think there's 58 of them on the Mississippi. They were able to control flood. And because they stopped the flooding from happening, it's just as simple as this. The silt, which is laced with trace minerals, is no longer being deposited on the farm fields. So what's happening, the farm fields are still growing out there. The crops are depleting the soil of all these trace minerals that we need in our body. And so now all they do now is put NPK on there, which is a fertilizer, to make the corn still look the way it used to. Even though it's devoid of copper, selenium, it's devoid of chromium and all these things that we need. So now if we eat the corn flakes, we're no longer getting that stuff. So surprise, surprise, we have an epidemic of diabetes and heart disease and you name it, just all horrifying diseases that just simply could be avoided if we just get our 90 essential nutrients. It's just kind of crazy that this message Doc has been trying to tell for years is now we get to put it up on YouTube in a creative way and have, if you had little puppies, playing on your YouTube video and you started describing why these puppies need these nutrients and you do too, you probably get 3-4 million people to look at it,
Genius.
And, so it's just that simple to spread the message now. So why not do it? I really encourage everybody to do it. And by the way, you were one of my inspirations there, Jamel. I mean, you have been putting up videos with your music and stuff.
Oh, but don't forget the princess. Melina taught me how to do that, so she's great at doing it. Yeah. But I think it's just genius. It's I coined the term. You're the Paul McCartney, and Alex Jones is the John Lennon of radio. Talk. Because these are simple things that are duplicatable. Have you seen Alex? He's done a lot of documentaries where he's used an iPhone. Obviously, he could use a lot more than an iPhone, but that is something that anyone can do. So, Ted, us and all our group way back in Australia, to build the business now and get the message out, I can tell you we've got Team G'day people that look up to our leaders, and we've got the leadership now in place. Hi to all the SCMDs listening on the call: Isabel, Scott, Linda, Mike, Mark, Michael. Hi, guys. Ted, what would you say we all know the products work. What is our best way, you would say, for us to build our downline, retain them, and what's worked for you, and what would you like to share with the Team G'day group?
Well, first of all, recruiting. You always have to be asking people to join the business. You can't stop doing that.
Yeah.
But the second step to that is the retaining piece that you're referring to, and that is more important than the first piece, except for if you don't have somebody to retain because you didn't recruit them, you never can do that. But the piece of actually reaching back and always following up and talking to and making friends with the people that have tried the products, that have done the products, is going to be the secret to the success of your future growth of your business. You always need to obviously recruit and put more people in, but to sit down and actually talk to and befriend the people that you're working with is going to be what builds that opportunity so they can actually come along and get the energy they need and the training and the help to get their businesses rolling. That is such a key factor. I've seen so many people come through here, and there's a reason why Melina is a senior vice chairman marketing director. And the reason why that is because she follows up.
Absolutely.
She continues to build. And there's just, you don't let that piece drop. So many people think, I put them in, I got them a healthy start pack or whatever it was they need for the health issue, and they never hear from them again. That's such a huge, huge mistake, especially if that person finds it to be beneficial to them, because that person is referring people to Youngevity anyways, and they're just going to say, hey, I buy this healthy start pack, it gets me healthy, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to go buy it from somebody else.
Yeah.
And it just, you're just missing out on such a huge part of the beauty of Youngevity if you don't do that. So you got to do the follow-up. And my goodness, if you can take and put a link on a video that you posted on YouTube, here's the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and here's why you need it, and you make it interesting and attractive enough for people to look at it, if you get 5-6 million views on a video, your business is off to the races, because the law of marketing is 1/2 of 1% are going to respond to buy.
Yeah.
So 1 million people is going to give you a big pool.
Yeah.
We are sitting in an age of technology where there is something that's been introduced to us. You can use Facebook to create a video and have maybe 10 times the amount of people looking at that video that Alex Jones has listening on one of his shows in a day.
Yeah.
Just by doing a creative video. It's amazing.
I've got your on screen now. I've got the rerun of you with the goggles and the grinder with the copper. Oh no, you've got a fork in this video.
Yeah, and that one I have a fork. I took the copper one down. I'm going to do a better job before people share that one.
Perfectionist.
So I took that one down. You're going to see that one again soon enough. I was very preoccupied with other things when I did that video, and I thought, nah, I can do better than this. I just took it down. I'm going to repost it later. But maybe you guys that are listening here can do it better than me. Just take a piece of copper pipe. If you look it up, if you just do a search on copper and connective tissue, you won't believe what you're going to find out there. There's so many studies, and copper is directly connected with glucosamine as to to prevent heart disease, certainly to make you look younger, because it's the connective tissue in your body that starts to break down.
Yeah.
That makes your pecs sag. It makes you get wrinkles around the eyes. It makes you have an erectile dysfunction. It makes you have varicose veins. It makes you have aneurysms. It really leads to death.
Yeah.
And when you look at that and you go, gosh, all I got to do is just show people how good copper can be for them, and then you'll have to just make a comparison, because there's they should call it selenium/copper because it's loaded with it, and it's plant derived, so it's usable.
Yeah, on the video at the moment, you're stirring the copper filings in the glass, and you're about to pour it into your hibiscus. So, I mean, once people know we need the nutrients, we need to get off the junk food, we need the right nutrients. Dr. Wallach has the best ones, and then it's about the business for the people that want to do the business. And it's been great. When I started, I always was on the GCN calls. I was over in Australia, so I wasn't participating, but I was listening. And they really helped me get started. Guys, Ted, if you got the GCN, is that call? I know it's currently, because Corey's doing the triathlon and everything. Training?
We paused that one for this summer. Corey talked about redoing it again in the fall. I think he's taken on probably about 3 or 4 different calls since then. I don't know if we'll replace that, or it's just there's so many calls to get on. It's great.
Yeah.
That's one of the neat things about it. You want to get educated on how Youngevity works? Just go take a look at all the different calls that they have and tune in.
Yeah.
The Hair on Fire call is just inspiring.
And these probably. Corporate calls that anyone can listen to. It doesn't matter whose line you're in, correct?
Yeah. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants everybody to succeed.
That's what I noticed when at the convention. And what I did, Ted, I joined InfoWars Health Team because I heard Alex Jones and Dr. Wallach, and I'm like, I wanted to check this out. Bought some Tangy Tangerine. I did speak to you at one stage. Got the Healthy Start Packs. Got the CEO pack. Got a plane ticket, but I didn't get the CEO pack till later. Went to the convention in California, and then I met all my upline, including you and Sandy Ellsberg, Tom Chenault. Team G'day, guys. These are our upline. Ted is one of the best, and he's our support upline for the business builders. I met Cheryl Morley. I met MZ, Michael Zwirling, and I met, of course, Melina, and now we're married. And so I met all these people. And then I'm like, oh, wow. And then everybody in Youngevity that I met that were not in my line were helping each other. And that's exactly what Ted just said then. So, Ted, I would love to just see if we've got one or two callers from Team G'day that want to ask a question. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, Linda, if you're ready to go, or Michael, I can see you there on the computer version. If you want to unmute yourself and ask Ted a question, you can right now. There you go, Linda. This is Linda, our SEMD, SEMD from Sydney, Linda McNair. Go ahead.
Hi, Ted. I watched your video. I thought it was great, but do you think people seeing that for the first time might think you're taking an excessive amount of the vitamins?
I think they will. Actually, I think that's probably why that video is so popular. They're probably passing it around and saying, "Look what this nut is doing." But you know what? Honestly, if they don't get it in that video, and the next one that I put out there is the one on chromium. I mean, how many people are fighting blood sugar issues right now? And I think the message got through on that one. I looked at it, and I think people get it. I'm not so concerned about, you have to do something that's going to get people to come watch your video. It just seems like you need something there. And whatever it is, the right recipe is there, because that one has over 700 views,
Yeah.
So if they think I'm taking too much, that's fine. So what? So my friends and family members who are fighting this stuff are looking at me, and they still do look like I used to, when I was 30 pounds heavier, my body looked like, I was all puffy looking, and that comes with some very serious health implications. And my uncle was at my house the other day, and wearing, one of those socks that, they hold your body together. I mean, and then he starts talking about leaky gut syndrome. He says, "Have you ever heard of leaky gut syndrome? The doctor just told me I had that." I said, "Yeah, and I know how to get rid of it too." So these people, they hear it. My family is about as stubborn as they get. I think after about the 100th try, I'll get somebody to maybe try something. Oh well, that's the way it's got to go.
Wow. And Ted, Linda's one of our leaders in Australia, and she flew out from Sydney to spend time with Dr. Wallach on the tour. And Ted, it's just like I've learnt from you, and now I'd like to share with Linda everything I know. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us, Ted, before you go on keys to build a successful business? I remember you said to me, we were having a conversation, and you said, well, you go to all this effort to get someone in as a CEO. You don't want to just, and as you said before, you don't want to just let them, not give them enough information, and support. So what would you suggest? I mean, my next step, and also people like Linda, what is our next step to grow our business?
Well, I would say that if you haven't been to Masters of Enrollment, watch Tom Chenault on that coffee shop interview. If you get to know the people intimately that you're working with, they'll tell you what they need and what they don't need. And, it's true. Some people will drop off and they'll quit. But the chances of that happening, if you actually make a connection to them, they become your friend, is less, obviously. And that's it. And then hopefully you can help teach them to reach out to the people that are down below. But if you don't follow up and you don't help these people and befriend them, you're going to find that the business will go from a positive number to a negative number. And you want to avoid that as much as you can. Yeah. And the other side of it is keep recruiting. And Linda, it was a very good point that you had. What if people watch my video, are they going to think I'm taking too much? And my answer to that is, the bottom line is that I need to attract people. I need to enroll them. And if I have to do something crazy to get them to take a look, it's still going to be 0.05%. If I have 1 million people looking, that 0.5% is going to do something. So maybe I would, in Australia, you guys have those wonderful unique creatures. I would be huddling up to a kangaroo or something, or standing there with a platypus running around by my feet and start talking about something.
There you go, Linda. Go catch a Joey kangaroo and make a video. That's your goal for the day.
Oh no, I've got the perfect puppet. So the perfect puppet
What
koala
have,
bears.
what have you got? What koala bears?
Yeah, no, I've
Yeah.
got a perfect. Yeah, yeah. I'm going up to visit our son in Port Macquarie on the weekend for a quick visit, so I might film him doing one of his how he puts his in his movies. So we might make it a bit entertaining somehow.
Oh, terrific, terrific.
Got to have that. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And Ted, thanks for sharing. Thanks for your time. We're so happy to have you on. And all of us in Team G'day, we've got a leadership group now. Linda's one of our leaders. Thanks for, and big hi to everyone. Firstly, thanks, Ted Anderson, our upline, Senior Vice Chair, Marketing Director, leader. And hi to all. Melina, thank you so much for helping our team as well. The same with all our other upline. We got Tom Chenault, Corey Gold, we got Michael Zwirling, Sandy Ellsberg, Cheryl Morley, and Alex Jones is the reason why I'm doing this business in the first place, because I got the information on the Alex Jones show. So Ted's been the support there, and definitely it's been such a pleasure to be around the guy. And guys, people are looking to leave their jobs as well as getting healthy because they're not being appreciated at work. In Youngevity, when you rank, they give you recognition. They give people what every human needs, a bit of recognition. And I mean, I got a jacket. It doesn't sound like much, but I got a jacket when I hit my vice presidential marketing director. And I can tell you, I was working for the government for 20 something years and I didn't get a pen. And I never had one problem with my work at all. I was a model worker. So, Ted, thanks for sharing. Thanks for coming on. And I'd like to put the challenge out there. I'm going to call it the Ted Anderson Challenge, actually. The Ted Anderson Challenge, Team G'day, is make your own video, upload it on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, any social media will do. And send it through to me. And the best video gets a very special perk from me. And that's a Team G'day Ted Anderson Challenge. So, Ted, thank you so much for your time. And we're going to share this video. This is going to be uploaded. And this is going to be shared amongst our team members too. So you're always very welcome when you come to Australia. So a big g'day and aloha, Ted. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. And don't forget to put the link to the product you're talking about on that video. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. All right. Thanks, Ted. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, bye. Well, there we go, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ted Anderson of the GCN Radio Network, one of the biggest independent radio networks in North America, and he would be telling people about Youngevity even if he wasn't earning money from it, because he told you his health story. Everyone, your health, if you haven't got your health, what have you got? And we've got Dr. Wallach and the whole team of Youngevity. So that team call to me gave me a bit of, that's something I'm looking forward to sharing. And guys, make your own videos. This is going to be terrific. You know what? I'm going to make my own as well. So put a twist on it, make it unique. And if you're in Australia, make it Australian. And I'm going to do a Hawaiian twist to mine. So let's all get that started. And guys, I'm going to stop the recording now. TeamG'day.com if you want to see us, TeamGday.com. And you can call me Jamel Bookaboo, which I am a Youngevity distributor, on 808-436-5025. In Australia, you can call 0414-286-358. That is teamg'day.com. And I'm stopping the recording now for open lines and